Shorty. You're all grown up, huh? I knew you'd believe me.
Okay. So you know my nickname? Let's see what else you know about my family and me.
My family, too.
That's what we're going to find out. Destiny's a smart...
Well, you have finally told me the truth about your history with Todd. No matter how horrible it is.
You've always deserved to know.
No, what I deserve to know is which of these two men is the father of my children.
Well, once McBain gets the results of the DNA test, you'll know.
You know, Tomas, I don't think you've noticed this about me, but patience is not one of my many virtues.
Meaning?
Well, the way I see it, we need to figure out what happened to Todd from the time you dropped him off to that rogue agent, Baker, until he walked back into town with a new face 8 years ago.
Yes. Unfortunately, the only person that knows exactly what happened to Todd is Todd.
You're my father. I'm on your side, and I always will be.
Thanks, Jack. I'm glad you believe I'm your father.
Yeah, I do. Even if Star doesn't.
Huh?
If you are my father, like you say that you are, then you won't have any trouble answering a few questions.
Is this a test?
The answers you're looking for are in this envelope.
Why? What is it?
It's the DNA test results on your brother and the man we have in our holding cell. This will tell us which one of them is the real Todd Manning.
Did McBain give you any idea when to expect the results from the DNA test?
I don't know how long I can wait. My family is completely turned upside down.
Well, my family, too.
Well, then we both have a lot at stake, don't we? We both need to know who the real Todd is. The thing we know for sure is that Baker ordered you to kill Todd 8 years ago.
Well, then he changed his orders once I found Todd nearly beaten to death in that tomb. Instead, he told me to bring Todd in.
And then months later, he shows him his face in Lambview with a completely different face.
And the only person who knows what happened in between is Todd.
Well, you know what? We need to talk to Todd. I want to hear his side of the story right now.
What do you say we open these together?
You know, I'm almost afraid to know the results. I mean, what if I find out that the man that I've been loyal to and been forgiving and defending all these years isn't my brother at all? He's an imposter.
Sounds like the guy downstairs made quite an impression on you.
John, that man not only has Todd's face, he has his memories, all of them. He knows things about our history that no one else could know. He knows details of private conversations between us.
He does?
Yes, he does. He reminded me of a time that I came upon him in the cemetery. This was 18 years ago. Star was a baby. He had been gone for a long time. We all thought he was dead.
Lightning strikes twice.
He told me that I was the one person above all else and anyone else that he could trust. It's like he'd stabbed me in the heart. Because if he's Todd, and he seems to be, that means that I have been betraying my brother. For years, I've been loving and loyal to an imposter. How could I have done that?
You can't beat yourself up about that.
Can't I?
No. No, you can't. You know, the more interesting question for me is how can someone like you go to bat for someone like him for all these years, no matter who he is?
You are damn right this is a test.
Only Dad.
I was in shock.
Well, probably, but I could see in your eyes that you know who I am.
Maybe you got me when you called me Shorty, but that is not enough to convince me. If you are and want to prove that you are who you say you are, then you are going to have to come up with the goods.
Okay. Fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
Fire away.
First question. When I was a little girl, how did we communicate when you were away?
Through a stuffed frog.
Name.
Fred.
That's not enough. Full name.
Fred the Magic Frog.
Next.
Jack, did Star actually say that she doesn't believe that Todd is really her father?
Of course she didn't. Did she? What did she tell you?
I don't know. She's saying all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, like what?
Like about, how you were with your old face, how you acted different then.
Where is she now?
I don't know, but don't listen to her, Dad. She's wrong.
All right, thanks, buddy. It really means a lot that someone I know believes in me. So, Jack's on my side. Apparently the jury's still out on Star. Where do you stand? What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? You know what we should do is get Danny down here. Maybe take a vote. And maybe I could convince her that I'm really her father. Then I'd be ahead 2 out of 4.
You're absolutely right. I want to tell Danny about this. In fact, I was going to tell her about it today, but she said she had to be somewhere.
Oh, right. You couldn't stop her.
No, I couldn't. She said she had an important appointment and she ran out somewhere.
Well, she can weigh in later, but I'm just curious about you. Are you with me or not?
Didn't McBain say something about a DNA test? He said he had a sample from you, right?
Yes, he did. I'd like to know how he got it. I never consented to it, but the other day I found him in my office ransacking my desk, so he must have stolen it. Is that legal?
Why would it matter? If you are who you say you are, then some DNA sample McBain has shouldn't scare you.
With all due respect, I never understood why you gave Manning a free pass.
Look, I know what you think about Todd, and obviously it's completely justified. When I first met him, I disliked him, and then my reservations about him were more than confirmed. When he raped Marty and tried to implicate my son Kevin in the rape, that was unspeakable. And then I found out that he was my brother, and I was horrified. But after a while, I began to see him as a kindred spirit of sorts. John, we are both products, victims of our father. Victor Lord, you know the stories, you know what he did. The damage that he did to us manifests itself very differently in Todd than in me, but we are both very damaged people nonetheless.
And yet you're not a sociopath.
I know. He's a rapist, he's a child, he's a liar, he's a monster sometimes. He's also just a human being, and he is capable of great love and remorse and acts of kindness and courage that are completely unexpected. More than anything, he loves his family.
First snake.
Boa constrictor.
Name.
Barney.
Barney's favorite lunch.
Mice? Preferably white mice.
Yes or no, was a tarantula my favorite spider?
That's like a trick question, because technically a tarantula, while an arachnid, is not actually a spider. Do you know why?
Do you?
A spider's fangs, they move on an axis, but a tarantula's are fixed.
What was my favorite spider?
Black Widow, because after it mates, it eats the poor sap.
My favorite place?
Reptile roundup?
Favorite mode of transportation?
Taxi, especially when you're grounded.
You're off so easy. Who was my arch nemesis?
Max Holden.
What did I do to him?
Piranhas in the bathtub. By the way, really great move. I never got a chance to tell you.
There's no chit-chat here, okay?
Okay.
What did I buy with a credit card that I stole from Max?
Horse poop.
Asa Buchanan and I had a battle. What did I use as a weapon?
Silly string. How am I doing? You believe me now?
Why should I? Everything I just asked you, it's right here, in this book. And you read it, didn't you? You cheated.
Blair.
Blair, Todd is not going to tell us what happened after I delivered him to Baker.
Why not?
2 reasons. He lived with it this long already.
Or he might not be the same guy.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? I gotta try. If there's just the slightest chance that'll bring me closer to knowing who this guy is, then I'm gonna take it.
That kiss.
Tomas, I thought we were gonna drop the kiss.
When the guy with the scar on his face kissed you, you felt something, even though you haven't admitted it.
I told you when I first met you that Todd Manning was the love of my life. And in that wedding, in that picture, he showered me with gold balloons. It was the happiest day of my life.
You know, Dorian said something. That you never loved anyone as much as you loved Todd. And that's the reason you gravitate back to him.
Well, what about it?
I want you to know that I hope that I can break that cycle, no matter who that guy is in the jail cell. You think that's possible?
I can't answer that. Not until I know the whole